for sure. UC audio input capture is working. What I wonder, where are we active? What do we select for audio input capture? See, 1112. But 48K. So there's no reason for it to. I don't know. All right, here we go. Oh yeah. Oh no. My own stream might be too offensive. Now, see the funny thing. Oh, what are we talking about? Bitrate is not appropriate. Holy shit! Wow, are you really broadcasting at 10K? That's crazy. All right, it doesn't matter. Okay, so all right, let's rehearse the thing that I always want to rehearse. Okay, so when creating a loop, generally speaking, we're gonna create a cylinder, right? Or we're gonna just create some kind of tunnel. We can come over here and do 90-degree rotation. Make sure that we don't have any end caps, and then let's say we want it to be 25 by 25, right? So we'll call it 50, right? So what that means is, all right, what's it? Add a plane, do S50. Let's add a camera. All right, and then our camera will just put up by 5. We're gonna make this 0, 0, but and then by 90, right? So our camera's looking a direction, right? And then we're gonna go minus 25. Oh, let's make it 25. It's scaled by 25. That means it's 25 by 25. That means it's 50 meters long, right? Because minus 25 plus positive 25 is 50. Okay, get it? Does that make sense? So when we do our animation, we're gonna start at frame 0 because we don't want our because frame 0 and frame 600 are the same, because after frame 600 comes frame 1, right? Does that make sense? I keep trying to explain that in different ways, and I'm gonna figure out the right way to explain it. But basically, the frame that comes after 600 is frame 1, and so we don't want two of the same frame, because if we started at frame 1, then we'd have two of the same frame, right? So we start at negative 25. That way, frame 1 is not negative 25 or 600. We can just go 600. Actually, what I usually do, we'll just hit that button, and then we'll go. We don't even have to change it. We'll just go 25, right? And so if we look at the top, camera is at 25, right? At our keyframe. That way, when we move it, our camera moves all the way through this, right? So, right, and the reason that we use the plane here, let's just real quick. Anyway, right? The reason that we use our plane here is to describe what our, you know, replication is, right? And so it's this area from negative 25 to 25 is our area, right? And so generally speaking, we're gonna make a cylinder, right? And our camera's gonna go through our cylinder, right? It's gonna go, you know, from beginning to end. So, but how do we make the view? So, okay, so yeah, see, this is not gonna be the general looping theory. Our our first frame needs to equal our last frame, right? Our last frame needs to equal our first frame. When we look at here, it's got a tube that is looking down. When we look at here, it doesn't. How do we do that? Well, okay, so you could do Shift D. Actually, I would argue you should do Alt D, because Alt D at least, makes a replication, right? And then you could go, okay, so here's my duplication, and I'm gonna move it forward 50 frames, right? And then Alt D by 50, Shift R, Shift R, Shift R, Shift R, Shift R. Because Shift R does the last thing, right? And now we gotta loop, right? And like technically, yeah, it's a loop, okay. But now, what happens if I want to add something to it, right? Like, okay, I've got this loop, but I want to add another. I'm gonna duplicate this loop and then scale it down. Or you can do Shift Z in this case, I think maybe. Oh well, Shift Y. Scale Shift Y. So S Shift Y. Oh shit! Why is my maybe I haven't installed stream keys. Alright, no Wrangler enabled. Let me real quick. Stream keys. Oh shit. Alright, so this is how we install Streamcast keys. Let's go find our releases. Let's download the zip, I guess. Ugh. Oh, you know what we need to do is do edit preferences, install, downloads, keys. Yep, all that. Screencast keys. Turn on. Oh. Why? Where is it? So the question is, shit, I was signed in. No. Oh, see, so I'm still alive. Okay, cool. Well, that's cool. All right, so. All right. Can we add a camera yet? Funny. Video capture device. It's funny. Most things go brr, 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 brr when I plug them in, but this camera doesn't. Alright, whatever. Oh, hey, look at that. Hey, yo. See, I've got the stupid thing in my face. Go over here. Dun, 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 dun. Alright, so. See, another thing. Not sure I'm a fan. See, really what I want to do is like put it right here. See, that would be perfect, but then it's right in the middle of everything, and look at my tits. All right, here we go. 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 Okay, so all right, this is Blender. Actually, fuck off, right? Here's Blender. What do I do? Hit A, hit X, hit Enter. Delete all that shit. Shift A. Cylinder. Okay, come down here and click on this. If you clicked off, hit F9. It's so amazing how few people know that you can just hit F9. We're gonna go nothing. We're gonna go rotation 90. I feel like vertices should be eight. And then depth is gonna be depth is where we're multiplying by 2 because depth is scaled this way. So see how depth is 2 meters, it's 1 meter each way. So Depth is 50, right? That's 25 by 25. Okay, cool. Right? All right, let's set up our camera first and foremost. Okay. Just do Alt R. Right, you got your camera. You're selected. Alt R. Really? Doesn't. Oh man. Fucking Nvidia is somehow interfering. Fuck it. We're just gonna drag and hit 0. And then on 90 we're gonna go 90. Right? That way our camera looks 90 degrees. We're gonna hit this toggle X-ray. You can hit Alt Z. Oh no, you can't. Motherfucker. Wow, okay. So most normal people can hit Alt Z to do X-ray and see what's going on inside. I can't. So I'm gonna hit this button up here to show our X-ray. And so we can see our camera, okay? So if we go to negative 25, we see that it's at the beginning. Didn't we do... Okay. Alright, so if we do minus 25, we can see that's at the beginning. We're going to bring our timeline up a little bit here. Okay, so basic looping theory, we want our first frame to be the same as our last frame, but our first frame technically isn't our first frame because frame 0 is our first frame and frame 1 is the frame after our last frame. Okay, so we start on frame 0. We're going to hit a keyframe here, and then we're going to go to frame 600. And we're going to go to positive 25, which you can see is the end of our sphere here. Boom. Add a keyframe. Okay. Because 600 wraps around to frame 1, right? So 600 and 0. 600 is technically the 0th frame, right? And so frame 1 is the first frame, but there's always a frame before the first frame because it's wrapping around, right? So 600 is the 0th frame, and so 600 and 0. If we look at our camera, well, and you can't see here, should technically be our same frame, right? If damn it, see, and that's why I did 30 in the other video. All right, so if we go scale of brand new cylinder. Cylinder. We're going to rotate it by 90. We're going to go depth of 60. See, that's what we should do is depth of 60. Because that's minus 30 plus 30, right? 30 plus 30 is 60. Depth of 60, right? And then our camera goes from negative 30 to positive 30. All right, so but the point is, frame here should be the same as the frame here. How do we do that? Well, in the case of we've got a single cylinder, it's easy to duplicate. You can use Shift D. I'm gonna recommend you use Alt D because that creates an instance, right? So we're just instancing the same thing. So we do GY60, right? And then we can do another Alt D Y60. and then Shift R. It's great, right? Got a bunch of cylinders. Well, okay. I want to add something to this. I don't just want it to be a single cylinder. I want it to be another cylinder. I'm gonna go add another cylinder. And it's gonna be, rotated 90s. Maybe its radius is 0.01. Okay. And now, how do I add that? I could just duplicate a bunch. That would work. But it's not really a manageable solution. So, look at all these. Oh, and C. It's not a manageable solution. I deleted my example. I deleted my example cylinder. So, okay. I'm going to add another cylinder here. I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees. Alright, so I want to add this to everywhere. So, what we could do is create a collection, right? Call it loop. Okay. And then create an instance of the loop collection, and it's gonna be moved up the Y by 60. And then we could duplicate that, Shift D, Y, 60. Right? Where is my fucking, because he's not even on. It doesn't matter. R, Shift R, Shift R, Shift R. Right, now we got a bunch of loops, right? So if we look at our loop from our camera perspective, right? First end. Yeah, you can see kind of the icon, but if we turn it off, like, right, we got a good loop. Not really seeing much jumping, but fuck, man, we still got all this shit here. Now granted, right? You know, the beginning of this loop and then the end of this loop doesn't have the shit. But as soon as we add this cylinder to our loop, okay, right now all of our loops have it. What I want to do, all right. So what's cool? If you do a /, it'll focus on a thing. You can do tab here, enter edit mode. Let's add 500 loop cuts. And I'm going to add a symbol deform. What's cool about the symbol deform, right? Let's hit / to unfocus on it. What's cool about the symbol deform, uh, it works around an axis. Now, see. All these loops. Let's turn on this again. All right, cool. Here's our cylinder. Let's move it to the Y. 5. X by 0.5. Oh no. Z by 0.5. Now, see, when we move it here, that moves the point of origin with it. We do Control A and apply location. What you're essentially doing is you're moving your point of origin back to kind of the middle here. So now 1080. Now, bam! Look, we've curved our cylinder. Right, because it's being moved around. If you right, it's up here. But because now our center of origin is 0, 0, which we've done by applying location curves. I shouldn't sniffle into the mic. I'm sorry. Mirror it. Uh, 5 seconds isn't that cool. Alright. Our camera is what? 35? 35? 35. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Cool. Okay. So, alright. We got a loop. Like I said, you can take this loop and you can instance it. But what I prefer to do is instance it with geometry nodes. Now, you could totally instance the shit that you're doing. Well, actually, you can't. It's part of a fucking collection, so you can't. So I'm wrong. All right, but okay. So check this out. All right. I demonstrated to you earlier how people like generally duplicate with, you know, duplicate your instances. But let's do it with geometry nodes, okay? All right. So most people delete this input. You can. You can come over here. You should hit N. Come over here. Go to root. We're in delete geometry. Now we have just an empty geometry group input. And actually, I guess for what we're about to do, it's not a super big deal. Oh, wait, what the fuck? What the fuck just happened? Oh, god damn it. New on the plane. Okay. For our case here, we're probably not going to use the geometry nodes. Anyway, all right. So we have our collection here. How do you instance that? Well, let's take a mesh line. Now we can see the line goes up. And if we do, so Screencast keys work. There it goes. Okay. All right. So what I like to do is Shift A, search. Right. Shift A S, instance, on points. Cool. And then we'll grab our whole collection here. Well, straight up, this is not super helpful. So we need to know however long it is, and that's how long we're going to put in for 50. That's our start location because we have our first, right? Oh, no, 60. Right? Because we have our initial instance, and then we've got an instance shit after that. No, it's not going up one, it's going out 60. Right? Bam. Now, 3 geometry nodes. We've now got our instance. Now, see if we can go crazy. Drag this, right? Now if I want 50, 600, okay, I'm gonna just do 60. But like, right? All I need to do is just change my count, and I've got an extra number of instances. I don't have to come over here and like reduplicate it. It doesn't pollute my, you know, collection over here. I just say, oh, I want 5. Oh, I want 10. Oh, I want 3. Oh, I want 10. Right? Like, bam. I just have to adjust it here. Again, you've got to, adjust your start location and your offset, accordingly. Your start location and your offset should be the same because you've got your original, prime instance. But like now, anything that I add to this collection is going to be replicated down the hallway, basically. All right, let's finish it off. Uh, One viewer. Is that me? Why is our bitrate unstable? Shit, sorry, I shouldn't fucking. Alright, let's do shading. Actually, so I want to do another node inside the node. Alright, so since neither of these have geometry nodes, what I'm gonna do is cylinder, 90, here's 1.9. Make this bitch round. return to Alpha Blend, although all right. Well, this is disappointingly like not. Right. I mean, the point here is that we're moving forward, and we get it. Yeah. Which one is the transmission? Alright, well. I mean, unless you want to see me do another render. You want to see me do another render? Who's out there? I don't like this camera angle, honestly. It's like super not flattering. Like, see, I'm always looking away because the camera. Do you see me? All right, one more render. All right, we got everything. We're gonna hit A, hit delete. Okay. Hit A, plane. All right. We're also gonna do. We're gonna do that. Close this. Geometry nodes. We're gonna hold control and alt click. We don't want to delete this, right? If we hit N, we hit this, and then go over group. Delete that. Okay. I guess we'll start with a cylinder because that's easy, right? That's none. And we'll set this to 6. Set this transform. And we'll set that to 90. And we'll set our depth to 50, right? Again, 25 by 25, right? So if we add our camera, X-ray, again, we can't do Alt R because something performance overlay. What even the fuck? Let's drag to 0. And that's a 90. See? We said 25. Whatever. Doesn't matter. We said 50. Alright, so minus 25, right? Bring this up. Do a quick timeline. Go to frame 0. 25. Show we change this to 60 FPS. 600. 5. Okay. Alright. Cool. Alright, it says plane, but we're doing stuff because this is our geometry, right? What do we want to do? Hold on 1 second. I guess the big thing for me, no one even watching me anymore. It doesn't matter. I mean, it kind of doesn't matter because this is for me. But well, all right. So we're gonna practice this a million times. General theory is, all right. So our general theory is we want to replicate. I'm doing 600 frames a second or 60 frames a second. I'm doing 600 frames. That's 10 seconds, right? What I want to happen is that at the beginning of my video and at the end of my video, the frames are the same. Now, when I create keyframes, right? I create a keyframe at 0 and at 600 for my camera because frame 1 is going to be the same as frame 601, right? So the frame that comes after 600 is frame 1, right? And so we don't ever actually record frame 0, but we start our scene at frame 0. Now, how do we do that? Well, okay. We have one object, sure. We do an Alt D. We'll do an Alt D to create an instance, and then do dy 60. 50. 50. Not 55. All right, we'll do dy 50, right? And then we can do like Shift R, Shift R, Shift R, Shift R. Cool. Now I got a bunch of that. But now I want to add another object. I want to add another cylinder. Okay, and it's gonna be 0.2, and we're gonna rotate it on the x at 90. This would be 50. Nope, sorry. It's gonna be radius 1, and this will be rotated 90. And it's gonna have a depth of 50, right? So it's the same, and nothing. Oh, and a depth of 0.1, right? Radius of 0.1, so it's smaller, right? But now I'm gonna go and duplicate that a million times, right? So there's this genius thing called a collection, right? And so you could create a collection of these two things, right? Call it loop. And then we'll just create a bunch of collection instance loop, right? Y, GY, 50, Shift DY 50, R, Shift R, Shift R, Shift R, Shift R. Why do we not see this? I do not see screen caches. Do Shift A. Slash is looped. GY 50. Alt D Y 50. Cool. You see it? Cool. Shift R. Bunch of Shift R. But see, we're still polluting our object space with all these instances. Right? What do we do with all these instances? This is bullshit. So what do we do? Well, leave that too. Let's abuse geometry nodes. What do you say? So if we add a plane, right, and then we just disconnect it, right? Like there goes our geometry nodes. I'm gonna delete geometry here. I'm gonna leave my group input because I like to have group input, and I'll show you why in a second. Okay, so we want to instance this loop. Well, just so happens there's this instance on points object here, and literally its job is to instance shit on points. We can create points with this mesh line. And we create as many points as is described by our count and our offset. Well, in our start location. But we let's uh, our count and our offset, right? So if we look, it's 10-meter line. Well, we can't see it really well here because it goes up. Let's turn this to Y. We're gonna hide this. I guess actually that's a 9-meter line, isn't it? Because it starts at 0, and then 0 is the first point. Wow. Okay. Well, but okay. So if we went 11, it's 10-meter line because we start at 0, and then every 1 meter is a dot. Uh, Points. Here we go. All right. Okay, we can see our points. If we go 0. Nope. If we go 10. Right. Our 10th one ends here because, right, we start our points at 0. Sorry, hiccups. But I'm kind of learning along with you. Sort of. Alright, so if we were to go to 10 meters, 0 index, right? That's 11 points. Makes sense. Okay. So that's 10 meters. Now, let's do points. That's accurate too. There's just always going to be one extra depending on whenever our offset is. Oh, and that was supposed to just be 2. That's 20 meters. Right, because it's 10, and then if we were to duplicate that, well, and that's where we're about to come in. Okay. This is why it all makes sense. Okay, so we do an instance on points. But what are we gonna instance on our points? What we're gonna instance on our points is our loop here, right? What we can do is we just grab our loop, drag it in here. We can also do if we hit a shift A. Why doesn't our okay? So we do shift A, search, collection info, right? select loop, or start a loop in here. I'm going to take our geometry and plug it into the instance, right? But what we want to do is set our offset to our loop's total length, which I think is 50. Right? But then we also want to set our offset to 50. So that because 0 collection, right? That's our collection plane. So we offset this by 50. That's our plane. That's our collection. Right? Because we always have our prime collection, and then we want to duplicate it. And so basically we're using our mesh line and our instance on points to duplicate it. But we're going to start our points here instead of starting our points here. Right? Because there's already an instance here. So we want to start a point 50 meters this way. Right? So, right? Cube. Move that cube 50 meters that way. That's that cube now. That's our instances. Does that make sense? Try to explain this a bunch of different ways, and I don't feel like do a good job of explaining any of it. It's because 3D math sucks. It's weird. I actually think I'm kind of starting to get it, but how do you explain it to someone else? All right, so we all right. Just I mean, every time I fuck off, I just come up with gold. Yeah. Okay, we're still alive. Cool. I don't know, audio's still working. So why the fuck does it fail over there with the fucking laptop? I don't know. Um. All right. Trading. I mean, All right, color. This is a big reason why. Alright, so this is a bad example though, because but we're already here, but generally when you're shading, just one hit this and then we're able to go. Yeah, see, if you don't do more than one untransparent, I don't get transparency. So I feel like two is the correct answer. I mean, maybe more than two. Uh, Noise threshold. We Z max samples 496. But we go noise threshold is 0.25. Like, pff, it might do 200 samples. Like, I feel like we go an extra level and do compositing. Like, uh, the fucking stupid thing is that I'm not doing. Damn it. Okay. All right. We're gonna run into these. Have a good night. No one's watching. He's not going. I don't know. Well, okay. It may just be me for now, but let's go.